This next guy.
There's a guy.
I didn't know we were allowed to have him on. This is great. Been a while.
He's been on? I think he was on with me the last time you were gone.
Yeah, he always comes on when I'm gone.
It's by design.
He is affectionately, I like to call him, the Barney Rubble laugh of the sports media.
We should just have him and Chris laugh for the next half hour.
When you said you went to a movie and sat between the two of them.
But it was a terrible movie, but it was funny because I was in stereo.
You could probably go see Sophie's Choice with the two of them and Platoon and find a way to laugh with the two best laughs in King's media.
They're one seeds.
As I said before, the largest collection of cologne in Northern California. He rarely wears a hat, but is nice enough to wear one this morning. The one, the only, the lovely, the talented, the cheek pinchable, great huggable, love of my life.
Wow.
I love Sean Cunningham. He truly is.
That's too much.
He truly is. He is not only one of my favorite people in this business. One of the few. Shut up. He's one of the few that I also, to this day, I have his phone number memorized.
You do.
I have his.
You've given it out over the air many times.
All the time. I don't know when the last time I called Sean Cunningham was. Maybe a couple years ago or a year.
You don't talk enough.
We don't really talk anymore. Hey, Sean, how are you?
I'm blushing. I'm great. I'm near tears. And by the way, of all the things that I've been impressed with you over the course of since I've known you, you memorizing my phone number is among them because it is not an easy number. Remember like back in the day where you'd have like repetitive digits?
Yes.
Mine doesn't. Mine is awful. It might as well be like a bomb code.
Do you have it memorized? All right. So
prove it.
Okay. Well, you know what? We will prove it. I'll tell you what. We'll do this. The first number is 7.
Yes.
What's the last number, Jason?
8.
That's correct.
Wow.
That's all we're giving away. And there's a 3 in there. That's it.
2.
That's as far.
Stop it.
Also a 9er.
Let's just give it out. Sean, you're comfortable with that. We can do this.
It's some combo. We've given out most of the numbers. Yeah. Of course, it's a 408 area code, though.
Yes, of course.
Sean, let's start off with a couple of questions. Actually, I think
question from the audience.
This should be This should be the whole segment. Yeah. We talk No Kings. We're just telling Sean stories all day. Sean, if basketball Jesus came to you and he said, Sean, that's a lot of cologne. Also, what is I can't not laugh when Sean laughs. If basketball Jesus came to you and said he would guarantee a Kings title this season, but in exchange, you have to give up 6 months off the end of your life, whenever that may be, but caveat, you get to see that it's not, you don't die in 5 months. You know what I'm saying? You'll get to see the title and the parade and all that. But you have to give up 6 months off the end of your life. Do you take the deal?
That's wow. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Odds are it's the you're old and pooping your pants part of your life.
Yeah.
That's like the time. And if you're like me, I mean, come on, let's be honest. Like that's gonna be some tough sledding down the way. So
I'm with you, dude. You and I are gonna be next to each other though.
But isn't there another question, offshoot for Sean on that from the listening audience?
Yes, I want to say,
and they'll know where this comes from. Maybe.
By the way, 1,000 votes in. That was our question of the day. 58% would also give up 6 months off the end of most popular answer. They've already taken 6 months off my life. Right. Anyways, Sean, that being said, you would 100% give up 6 months off the end of your life for a Kings championship. Same question, Kings championship, but for the rest of your life, would you give up Bottle Rock?
Oh, God, no. Not at all. Not at all.
You want to think about it?
No, exactly.
About it. No, come on, you could go to Country in the Park. You could go to Bonnaroo.
Yeah,
you could
all
go
sorts
to
of concerts.
Lollapalooza 26. I don't know.
But Sean loves Bottle Rock.
That's the thing about Bottle Rock, though. It comes at like the perfect time for me because you think about the NBA season, you think about what lies ahead with NFL, like Memorial Day weekend in Napa. Where it's not too hot, it's not too cold, and I just the whole setup of Bottle Rock. I'm in my own bed by midnight every night. That's phenomenal.
I mean, all right,
I love it.
By the way, sort of breaking news in the world of breaking news that I actually assumed had already happened. You know, when somebody dies, and it's morbid, but you're like, oh wow, they're still
what?
No, nobody died. Well, their
sort of.
career
I did
did.
get an alert.
Blake Griffin has announced his retirement.
Oh, I was going to say I thought you were doing another alert that I did get.
Too.
Oh,
Yeah.
What? No.
Sean, you want to break the
No.
news?
You want me to? It's
Yeah.
not my story. Whitey
It's not mine
Herzog
either.
Passed away.
Who?
Whitey Herzog.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cards manager?
Yeah.
Yeah. But how old do you think he was?
Oh, okay. I legit, honest to God, thought Whitey passed away. Like, didn't Whitey?
Herzog. We need to keep saying Herzog.
No, yeah, Whitey Herzog.
Yeah.
No, wait, hold on, dude. I thought, who am I thinking of that had a brain thing? And I thought he
Dick
passed.
Hauser, I think.
Dick
Hauser.
Oh, it was a wrong
Royals.
Missouri baseball team. Oh, how old was Whitey Herzog?
91.
Oh, so we lost Roger Craig and what? God, that sucks.
Yeah.
Whitey Herzog, and Roger Craig within the same year.
Would they have given up 6 months of their end of their lives for this championship?
Here's one that'll bake your noodle, Sean. How do we know they weren't supposed to live 6 more months? How do we know they didn't already? Well, at least in Herzog's case.
Championship coming.
Here you go. All right. Enough of that.
Yeah.
Sean, is tonight a must win?
I think by definition, yeah, I think it really is. And you know what's funny? Like I asked the stupid question yesterday. I was like, can this compare to a game 7? Realizing that there's no series.
Hold on.
Did you ask it to De'Aaron Fox?
Did you ask it to Fox?
I believe, yes, I did.
Let's see how we just played this clip and we'll do it again. Here's De'Aaron Fox trashing Sean Cunningham for a stupid question.
I mean, I think it's going to be crazy. I don't know if you can replicate a game 7 in the playoffs. I mean, I think that's pretty hard to do, but like I said, this is the closest to a March Madness type of feel that you're ever going to get.
That's a pretty good comparison, though.
Yeah. See, a stupid question can lead to a brilliant response. But here's the thing.
Dumb, stupid call.
Go ahead.
I was thinking also in terms of like the atmosphere because, game 1 last year, Golden One Center, game 7 last year, Golden One Center. I mean, just phenomenal atmospheres in terms of what this crowd, the city, this team, and it obviously, it didn't culminate in a win for game 7, but it certainly was a big boost in game 1. And I think they feed off of it. We know how teams feed off of it. And I'm wondering how it might compare similarly to those two environments because, hey, we know this isn't a playoff game with the air quotes, but it is. It is for a lot of these fans knowing that, injured or not, limping into the postseason or not, playing your best basketball or not, this city usually brings it. This fan base usually will do their part. And I'm really, really curious to see what it looks like.
Sean, so I would say going in, and Dave and I have talked a lot about this, like more things favor the Warriors tonight. One, they're literally favored to win. They're playing better. They have a healthier roster, but it's one game. And I think that's what helps in the Kings' chances of being great for 48 minutes. But what's the way? What's the avenue? What's the path for Mike Brown and the Kings to, I guess, pull off what would be deemed an upset?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because you can really rack your brain against the wall trying to figure out how are you going to stop the Warriors? How are you going to, match up against their size and their athleticism and things that have typically given you fits in the series. And I think Steve Kerr and his staff are going to do the same thing. But when you've got literally 3 games of a 4-game series come down to 1 point, and even in the preseason, you had a 1 game come down to 1 point, and you've seen what it looks like when you don't have De'Aaron Fox. You've seen what it looks like when Harrison Barnes doesn't play a prominent scoring role in this series. You see what it looks like when you don't have Keegan Murray for a game. Domantas Sabonis, obviously, in last year's playoff series, had his fair share of up and downs. We don't have to go through that, but I think you can get almost, especially in a 1-game scenario, you really have to come out and play your game. And the only thing that I'm very confident in saying, at least from a Kings standpoint, is I expect De'Aaron Fox to come out and have that absolute star quality type of game because that's what he's done. I mean, you look at the 3 games that he's played this season, a 39-point effort, 2 29-point efforts, and he just gets up for these games against his buddy Steph Curry and the Warriors. Now, that being said, the Warriors have also had success when De'Aaron Fox does that. So in my mind, hey, yeah, it might be nice that you've got this these defensive upside to you on your team, be it the 14th ranked defensive rating or whatever, but clearly you've unlocked something with the addition of Keon Ellis, who has only played 5 minutes in this season series and obviously wasn't a factor last season's playoff game, and even Davion Mitchell. And the two of those we've liked what we've seen, but I like what that looks like, but to me it's going to come down to scoring, and I don't know that the Kings can keep pace with the Warriors with what they can do from a scoring standpoint. But the thing that gives me pause is only really one game this season series has come down to a game where it was a knockout drag out fight where it was just right around 100 points. And that was one of the games that was, that was a 1 point game. So there are a lot of things that intrigue me about it, but you're right, Jay, in that one winner take all kind of game, you throw everything out the window and you concentrate on you and do what you can to outscore the other team.
To your question, the Kings have never won a game 7. We've talked about that before. Do they have it in them, Sean, with no Monk, with no Herter, the way they've ended the season, the way the Warriors have ended the season? In your mind, for example, it's a 2.5 point spread. The Warriors are favored at Golden One Center. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I do actually think it's fair. I mean, there's certainly a big brother, little brother, and there are all the storylines that, the Kings just haven't done it yet, right? So for simple fact of not being able to do it, yeah, I wouldn't favor them in this matchup, and I probably wouldn't pick them at this matchup. But I actually do like them in a one-game scenario, and it's just crazy enough. And when you think about the theme or the tenor of this season alone, like it would be so Kings, right? To beat your nemesis in a play-in game, one that really isn't a playoff series anyway, and their fans and their media will tell you, well, you didn't, even if it happens, well, you didn't really do anything. Yeah, it's just a play-in game. It doesn't really mean anything. But in the heads of, I think, this Kings team and this franchise and this fan base, it will do something. They'll look at it as this tremendous accomplishment. And then if they go and get shelled in the next game by either New Orleans or the Los Angeles Lakers, well, then your season ends, and what did you really accomplish? And that would almost kind of be the theme of this season. So I do think go out there and win another, live to see another day. And I do think it would matter a lot to this team and this fan base.
Jason, I know you know this too, but I'm just going back through. They lost to Golden State at home, 122-114 on Friday, October 7th.
Yeah, the home opener.
Yeah. Since then, they've played them 3 times. I just want to remind everybody that those were all
1 point games.
1 point games again. Just, I don't like that.
Well, and that's that. I mean, it's
unless we're winning.
Right.
Yeah. That's okay. Then.
That's the way I felt. And I don't know how you felt last year, Sean, if we go back to last year's postseason. That was my stance. When it was happening, when it ended, yes, the Warriors won 4-3. They advanced. I didn't leave that series going the Warriors were better than the Kings or vice versa. When the Kings were up 2-0 and even when they won, I think their best win maybe in franchise history here in Sacramento was winning game 6 or one of them. Sure. I just felt it was about as even as it gets. And then we get to the preseason, 2 great preseason games, the regular season's 2-2. I know it's a little different not being fully healthy for the Kings, but I really feel like these two teams, and they also have the same record, by the way, in 9-10, just tiebreaker puts the Kings at 9. It does feel like they're even. It's just kind of what Dave said, Sean, that the way each team's playing going in feels that's where the advantage is right now for the Warriors. Yeah,
and again, for me, it's like neither team can hold on to a lead. I mean, the Kings have come back from 24 down in this series this season to win a game in that play-in tournament game where it was all on the line for the Warriors. I thought that was kind of like one of those, bench.
But there we go. Sorry, we thought you muted yourself, Sean. We lost you for a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, just that in-season tournament win I thought was a kind of a feather in the cap for the Kings to kind of get over there and kind of end their hopes and dreams for that. But the thing that really bothers me is just the Kings stumbling into the this play-in situation. Yeah. Obviously, you're not healthy, but leads. For not only can they not hold on to a lead, they can't close out games, and that's something they did really, really well last year. Is really close out games well, and that's something that just hasn't been there this year. So, but again, in a one-game playoff, in a one-game winner-take-all, you just throw everything out the window. I mean, it is March Madness. It is going to be madness, and you know what's crazy? Like people can say how much they love the play-in tournament, and I think I'm one of them. But this game between the Kings and the Warriors is clearly far and away going to have more of the drama and the theater than the other matchup with the with the Lakers and the Pelicans, because by virtue of one team's season not ending, someone's season is definitely ending tonight at Golden One Center.
So it's
nice
must
basketball, Dave.
Thank you.
It's must win.
It's a must win. Sean Cunningham, Fox 40. Excuse me, hold on. Fox 40. Emmy winning journalist Sean Cunningham from Fox 40. How do I know that? Because it's over his left shoulder. That's nice. That's a nice background.
What'd you get the Emmy for?
Yeah.
It comes from a different station, but
whatever.
But you still earned it.
I actually put it there to remind me of some of the Keeping the Kings long form coverage that I did at a different station that was Emmy award winning.
Wait, you got an Emmy award for the whole Keeping the Kings thing? That's
the
awesome.
saga. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Wow.
And then not only that, but the cool part about it is I'm actually up for one this year.
What?
Yeah.
What's the
what for?
Yeah, what for?
Well,
Best
we'll see. That's the thing. I probably jinxed myself because it's in the consideration, but it hasn't been yet nominated. But I think by virtue of it, there's only a couple that have been in that category. I think it's a shoo-in, and it's some of the great work we did with the long form Republic stuff. So the Return to Hughes, I helped produce that whole thing with the boys over at the Sacramento Republic. So we're fingers crossed. I think we'll win that one.
I saw that, as a matter of fact. I did. Yeah. I saw that. It was okay.
Is it?
He said, "What trash?"
Yeah.
He said,
if Dave's voting, I don't think so, Sean. Sorry.
If I'm reviewing it, I'm Mark S. Allen. I'm saying 5 out of 5 stars. Would see again. If I'm Christopher Lott, I'd say it was okay. It was all right.
Better luck next time.
Yes. Hey, did you try your best, or did you have fun?
I really tried my best.
Sean, I don't remember the question I was going to ask you, so I'm gonna. Oh, I do remember that. Nope, lost it again.
Okay,
damn it! I reset the interview and I lost the. Oh, we asked Kyle Draper earlier. I'm going to ask you the same question. I forgot the question I was going to ask you, even though I've asked the same question an hour ago. Does Domantas Sabonis have the most pressure on him? And I'm not trying to lead you into that, but does he have the most pressure of anyone?
That's an interesting take. I could see that. Sure, he's kind of, in my opinion, I mean, he's obviously had his bugaboo with this Warriors team and their size and their athleticism. Kevon Looney's coming off the bench now, and Trace Jackson Davis is like that defensive stalwart for them, even though he's a rookie and he's got a lot of experience. But he doesn't really have a lot of experience against the Sacramento Kings yet. So I'm curious to see what that looks like. They probably are going to leave him on that island a little bit.
Yeah.
To see if you take away 2 of his best DHO dribble handoff options with Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter. So I think there might be a little bit of a built-in excuse, but I want to see Domantas Sabonis, even if he's taking advantage and just, okay, I'm on the island, let me shoot this mid-range, to show that he has an aggressive scoring mindset. I'm a little concerned he hasn't, even though he's got several games of 18 points. I think in the last 12 or 15 games, he's only had 2 or 3 20-point games. I'm always a proponent of wanting to see Domantas Sabonis be a little bit more selfish and score more. So yeah, I think for himself, I could see that. To be honest, guys, they're one of the guys that kind of sticks out at me like a sore thumb for pressure is kind of Keegan Murray a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if this season ends and Keegan, who's made great strides defensively, kind of limps into the offseason with a game that he wasn't very impactful on the offensive end. And I think that could put a lot of it's weird to be talking about a player like that who's only in his second year. But I think if he has a really solid game, it's a much better way to go into the offseason with. Whereas, no matter what De'Aaron Fox or Domantas Sabonis play like, there's some built-in excuses and what they're going to bring. And the fact is those 2 guys are coming off of sensational seasons.
Sean, we were talking about your Emmy, so let's kind of go let's write a script here. Let's paint what would be the worst possible finish to this game for the Kings and the best possible. But you can get creative here to get you another Emmy. You're writing this for future shows.
Yeah, come on there, journalist capital J.
Okay, let me see if I understand the question one more time. The best outcome
and the worst. We're doing this just Kings perspectives from the Kings. So
yeah,
a terrible picture of how this ends, and then a great one, and obviously a win and a loss is the obvious. But how let's paint it.
Let's go with the good first, because obviously, there are some stats to back it up. Like if the Kings have a lead at halftime, that's good because they are really bad when they don't. And if they can have the lead going into the fourth quarter, I think it was 47-8, 42-8, something like that. So
they all came in the last 2 weeks, all 8.
Yeah, I mean those things would be incredible. That's a pathway, and if they're scoring the ball, and if they're scoring and it's up there, I can see it, and winning this, I think, does give them some momentum because let's say they play the Pelicans. This is looking far ahead. I mean, the Pelicans have had ownership on them. That's phenomenal. But 6-0, can they go 6-0 against them in a season series? Sure, but I don't know that I would bet it. But I also kind of look at the Lakers and go, hey, they've had some domination over the Lakers. I don't know if anyone wants to see LeBron in that playoff series. So I do think there is this thing of momentum in these situations, but could it go bad? Sure. And I think if this is a blowout game, a vintage Steph Curry like performance that we've seen, or even a game 6 Klay Thompson, as we've kind of seen before as well, like I don't know if this heads to an exit tonight for Sacramento in a grand blowout fashion, I do feel like that would be a really hard thing to take into the offseason because let's face it, they wanted to see what this team looks like in a playoff series again. And if you only get it for one game, do you really, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that you feel fulfilled enough, even though you maybe should.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right.
I'll sorry, Dave.
I'll ask him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
That didn't win an Emmy.
That was on the phone. Sorry, didn't want to be rude, but I'm not. When I see caller ID, I'm not turning this down. It was Basketball Jesus.
Oh, whoa.
He's been on the show today.
Yeah.
And no. He's listening on the app and
On the app.
and he has a follow-up question for you on this show. He actually said he really liked your answer, but he said, "I'm going to
impersonate him again."
I'm going to give. He wants to give you one of two options. Sean, which is the better outcome? I am Basketball Jesus. Outcome one, my son, Harrison Barnes, 42 points, and the game winner, Domantas Sabonis, a 35-point triple-double, and the game winner. What would be the better, more feel-good for you tonight? Because you were talking about Keegan Murray and him limping in. Well, Harrison Barnes, they say, they like to say he played all 82, but he actually showed up in 70. So going into the offseason, what do you think would be the cooler, more fun storyline? Sabonis or Barnes vanquishing the Warriors?
To me, it's Barnes, especially given his history with the team, the relationship with Draymond Green, the unceremonious end to not only his career with the Warriors, but even remember missing the potential game-winning shot and Draymond Green saying we've seen that movie before. I got this long shot of them after the game. Obviously, they all hug after the series, and famously missing from that, hugs and handshakes moment was Domantas Sabonis, who was in the locker room stewing. But the one I didn't think I'd have on my bingo card was Draymond Green going over to Harrison Barnes and looking like they were going to attempt to try to patch things up. It's nice in the moment because Draymond can obviously recognize the moment, even though it may not be the most sincere. But Harrison Barnes stood there, took it like a man, and I think it might have led to some good things in terms of maybe repairing some of the things because, look, like those guys were pretty close when they were together, and to see that thing kind of come spiraling the way it has, it would be interesting. So for him to have a little bit of piece of payback as opposed to something like Domas, who I don't really think needs the moment as much as somebody like Harrison Barnes does, would be really special, I think.
Sean, I want to ask you too about Jordy. Looks like going to the Nets. Your thoughts about the Kings losing out? And we knew it was a matter of time, but it looks like Jordy Fernandez going to the Nets.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because I didn't think that I didn't have much confidence that Jordy Fernandez would be on the Sacramento Kings next year, just because of a lot of the successes that he's had, not only just international basketball and FIBA and what he's done for Team Canada. He obviously famously was a key cog in the Nigerian team with Mike Brown, but this is a respected throughout the league. He's got a ton of connections. People think very, very highly of him, especially with his days in Denver. And he's one of those bright young minds. And I think that's the type of coach you want to put around a young team that isn't necessarily have the most veteran presence on their team and can maybe go out and try to lay their own foundation. For his sake, I'm kind of glad it's not Charlotte. So I'm happy to see him go to a team like Brooklyn where there might be a little bit more stability. But that being said, like, I'm curious to see what the trickle down is with his absence. Like, does somebody get brought up? Does somebody get brought in? Does somebody like Lindsey Harding possibly go with him to Brooklyn as well? Could be interesting. She's obviously up for her own interview with the Charlotte Hornets. So and if his absence, if she doesn't go with him, does that lead to a spot on the bench with Mike Brown and elevate from the Stockton team? So Mike Brown is super well connected, but I think this is one of those moments when people like go, oh, you don't want to lose Jordy Fernandez or a member of the coaching staff. This is good. This is absolutely a beacon of light for the Mike Brown staff, and providing opportunities for coaches on the on other staffs is what this league is all about. And good for him. I'm thrilled for him and his young family, and I think Brooklyn is a good landing spot for him.
We're out of time. Sean Cunningham, Fox 40 Emmy Award winner, has taken many pictures with many celebrities.
Have I?
Who wins and what's the score?
Oh, I hate you.
You only hate me because you know who you're going to pick.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're journalists.
If I have the proverbial gun to my head, I am picking the Warriors in this.
Oh, come on, Sean. Jeez, what a negative. Come on, man. Where are you? Move to Oakland. Jeez.
I know. Look, I would love to be wrong. I wasn't. I thought it would go 7 games last year, and I thought the Warriors would win in 7. But the thing to me is I think it's too beat up, and I just don't love the way the Kings are playing. They've had some moments, but the Warriors right now are just automatically clicking. And while it doesn't matter in a 1-game series, we know this, and we've heard players and coaches talk about it, they're right. But if you're trying to pick a winner,
yeah,
sorry. Score wise, I don't know. How about 118-109?
No overtime though, right? Can't handle that.
Oh.
Ugh.
Well, here's the thing. If it is, then the 118, yeah, I did that for you. The 118-109 would actually mean it was a really terrible overtime period, and you're going to feel even worse about that.
True. Well, Sean, I hope we're wrong, buddy, and I hope everybody dragged us tomorrow if we are.
You said we, so you're with me then.
I'm not with you, like in the sense of that makes it sound like we're ganging up on the. If I had to bet my house, car, and kids on who's going to win tonight, and I was forced to do it, I would bet on the Warriors, and I really hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but for all the reasons you said, just the way the Kings are shorthanded, the way they both ended the season, the fact that the Warriors have been here before, the Kings have never won a one and done or a game 7. So again, there's precedent. Stranger things have happened, so we'll see. Either way,
the games.
Yes, all right.
Love you, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. That's Sean Cunningham, Fox 40, Emmy Award winner. We'll take a break when we come back. What to watch? We got an idea.